It's Friday night in the A, and you know what that means. Kelly Price and Tori McElhaney coming at you on Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
We back, y'all. More importantly, you're back, Tori, and I think you're feeling more adjusted to East Coast time now that you're back over here.
I'm not gonna lie, Monday was a little tough, but we're rallying, we're pushing through, everything's fine.
Well, it is Friday night now, y'all, and let's start here. Before everyone loses their minds, consider this. Atlanta is emerging at 500 after probably one of the hardest stretches they'll see all season. 3 legitimate playoff contenders in the Packers, Lions, and Jags, but the road doesn't get any easier now with the surging Houston Texans up this week. Let's huddle up.
Let's huddle up with Kelly and Tori on the world of Falcons football.
First things first, we've got to start with QB1. Arthur Smith made it clear in the second half Sunday and this week that Desmond Ridder remains his guy. I don't think any of us really had a doubt about that, but let us not forget, he has 8 starts into this pro career. Nonetheless, after 5 total yards of offense in the first quarter, 2 back-to-back picks, just 1 touchdown in the last 8 quarters, all of a sudden Taylor Heineke is trending on Falcons Twitter. Tori, where are you at on Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, look, could Desmond Ridder be better? Yes. Do the Falcons need him to be better? Also yes. But to say that all of the Falcons' offensive issues magically changed because they replaced Desmond Ridder with Taylor Heineke, that's really not realistic to me. And you don't believe me? Let's actually go back to the tape for a second. Against Carolina, the Falcons had some timing and spacing issues on their routes. Against Detroit, a lot of those 7 sacks were because of obvious protection issues. And in London, yeah, Desmond Ridder made the wrong reads. But it's every level of this offense from the top down, and that really needs to take a look into the mirror and get this thing figured out.
And that brings us to our next topic of discussion. The Falcons were the first to say there are a lot of things we have to improve on outside of the quarterback position. It only takes 1 of 11 not doing his job to really get everything out of whack there. What are the areas of improvement that you feel like you need to see this week on offense?
Yeah, so here's the thing. The Falcons need to get back to the basics and do the basics well. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's as simple as getting more than 1 or 2 yards on first down. Heck, it's just not coming up with a loss on first down. The Falcons offense has made the game so much harder on itself because of these slow starts to drives, more so their slow starts to games. All but one of the Falcons' opening drives of the 2023 season so far has ended in a 3 and out. The lone drive that didn't, it ended in an interception. So this offense has to be better in the early minutes of these games. That's just obvious.
Something we heard a lot from this team after the Detroit loss was that they were, quote, punched in the mouth. And Arthur Smith even said they needed to find a counter punch. Well, we didn't see that response at all at Wembley. Drake London was asked after the game what might be holding this offense back, and he was like, maybe we're holding ourselves back. Some of those issues you just described are part of that, but why do you think that we didn't see that, quote, counter punch on Sunday, and do you think they can find it by this Sunday?
You hope so, right? Because if not, this is going to be a long season. Something I wrote about post-game in London was that this offense has not been what it was advertised to be in training camp. It was supposed to be fun and explosive, entertaining, complex, but outside of Bijan Robinson, can we really say that it's been that? I don't think so. We're 4 games into the season, a quarter of the way through, if you will, and the Falcons are in need of a jump start to be everything they hoped they would be as an offense with this level of talent.
Hope to see that jump start this week. Well, London is a city fit for kings and queens, and the Falcons dressed for the occasion on Sunday. We're walking in, presented by Wells Fargo. Of course, we got to start with the London calling. Drake hitting us with a matching set. Fans of the show know this is one of our favorite things, but it's also like an artsy kind of, portrait, abstract moment going on here.
I gotta say, it's my favorite fit of the season so far. Maybe a hot take, but it's giving high fashion and high tea. And the fact that Drake chose this fit for London too, I love that.
Yeah, and some camo vibes there too. Love it. All right, next up, Richie Grant serving us a wonderful green suit. This is obviously my favorite color. It's my favorite shade of green from head to toe. Matching dunks as well, so respect for the matching game, Richie. Also love choice of a turtleneck here, although I don't know if it was that cold in London.
Okay, probably not cold by London standards, but maybe a bit chilly by Atlanta standards, so I don't mind the turtleneck edition here, mainly because I also wore a turtleneck in London.
I mean, 75 is cold in Atlanta right now. All right, game, respect, game. Next up, D. Alford hitting us with another matching set. He's really been close to getting on this walk-in list all year, but he finally breaks through with the denim suit. We have a word for jorts, but I don't know if we have a word for jean suits.
Yeah, we need one, because as much as Kelly and I love a matching set, the fact that this is a denim suit, it really speaks to our inner 90s babies, you know?
I love it. All right, finally, my guy, Mac Hollins, did a story during training camp about his holistic trainers in Australia really help him kind of connect to the earth by not wearing shoes. But sometimes this just still shocks me. Solid business look up top, and then you're just like, what are those?
The dogs are out. But we know that's pretty normal for Mac. This is a man that he's nothing if not consistently himself. And
Right.
I mean, the suit, the matching tie, and the man's search for meaning book. Can't overlook that
Thank you
part.
for pointing that out,
Yeah.
because this guy has books every week. I think he had James and the Giant Peach week one,
Yeah.
subliminal messaging, I'm not sure. All right, Mac Hollins, very quirky guy, but also very funny guy. There's actually a lot of guys on this team who are pretty funny. So tonight we're asking who is low-key the funniest Falcon in our question of the week.
Who do you think is low-key the funniest on the team?
Low-key? Other than myself? Low-key?
So he's not funny, but it's low-key funny.
I got to keep it in the O-line room. Matthew Hennessy. You would think he's very, straight and narrow, coming everyday business, but he can get, usually when he's frustrated, he can be pretty funny.
You can say yourself if you want.
Nah, I ain't gonna say myself.
Mac Hollins.
Arnold Ebiketie.
Probably Arnold Ebiketie.
He's one of them guys that's funny on accident.
Low-key, Avery.
Why?
I can't say on camera, man, but
Oh my God.
All right.
I love the answers.
Lots of different answers there. All right, coming up later in the show, we've got one of the newest members of the Time Magazine 100 Next List, Slutty Vegan founder Pinky Cole Hayes joins us in the nest.
Plus, how the Falcons left London with a major impact on the next generation. That story is coming up next on Rise Up Tonight.
Rise Up Tonight is presented by AT&T and brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And Truist, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. It's time to Rise Up Atlanta. Kelly and Tori are back on your home for Falcons football. Fox 5 Atlanta.
Community service for the Falcons knows no borders. The trip to London wasn't just about a game, it was an opportunity to give back as we rise up for Atlanta. Brought to you by Truist. Friday was a busy day for the Falcons. Early 8-hour flight, then straight to practice, and no, the day was not done there. Immediately after, several players and even Freddie the Falcon assisted in a flag football clinic through the NFL UK. Falcon legend Brian Finneran led the charge on wide receiver drills. There were stations educating athletes on proper form tackling, passing accuracy, and special teams. The week prior in Detroit, the Falcons also participated in a women in football event that we showed you here on Rise Up Tonight last week. And we've talked a lot tonight about the offense, but not so much about the defense. If you take out the points from the pick six at Wembley, this is 2 weeks in a row now that the Falcons defense has given up 20 points or less. And in the National Football League in 2023, that should be enough to bring home a dub. The offense did not uphold its end of the bargain there. And Tori, in your notebook this week, you posed a great question. How do you evaluate the defensive morale at this point?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question to ask at this point, because remember how I said earlier in the show that this offense has not been as advertised through 4 games? Well, when it comes to the defense, they've been exactly what I thought and hoped they'd be. Have they been perfect? No. There are probably a few explosive plays they'd like to have back, but when push comes to shove, they have shown up in the big moments, not only keeping the Falcons alive, but with a chance to win in some cases. The offense hasn't done much with the opportunities they've been given by this defense so far through the last 2 games. It is now time for the offense to hold up their end of the bargain, exactly like what she said.
And speaking of the defense, Tori has a hot take about what we might see on that side of the ball this Sunday at the Bend. Stay tuned for our hot takes to end the show.
And we go in the nest with the woman behind Slutty Vegan to talk about failures on the road to success and much more. That's coming up next.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Welcome back to Rise Up Tonight. Let's head in the nest with Kelly, Tori, and this week's special guest, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
We're so excited to have a really fun guest this week in the nest. Pinky Cole-Hayes, owner and operator of Slutty Vegan, which serves a plant-based fast food in Atlanta, and it is delicious. For those uninitiated viewers out there, what is Slutty Vegan, and where did this idea kind of come from?
Slutty Vegan is a plant-based burger joint. We sell a little bit more than burgers, pies, and fries. We help people to reimagine food in like the coolest way ever. So if you've ever been to a Slutty Vegan, like you come in and get a full-on experience, and the food is the cherry on top. I started this concept 5 years ago, and in the last 5 years, we have made some of the biggest milestones I have ever made in my life, just surrounded by veganism. So it's just been so blessed.
You talk about those milestones, and you really do have a star-studded kind of fan base of Slutty Vegan. You have Snoop Dogg and Shaq investing in your business. And what was kind of the moment for you? You talk about these milestones. What was the moment for you where you really knew that you had something here?
So Snoop Dogg, they're actually fans, not investors of the business. So they're fans, and they have naturally endorsed a brand, which is really big because, you know, this day and age, right, like the value of having a celebrity come to your brand, like you can't put a price on that. So for them to want to come and support the brand tells us that we're doing something right. But it feels good to know that we've built something that is just so authentically amazing that people just want to be associated with it. And that is a part of the reason we've been able to build a cult following, right? So can you imagine, we've never, up until this point, we haven't paid for marketing because everybody just wants to try the food and see what the hype is all about.
That's amazing.
It's worked for us for a very long time.
And you recently got married to someone in the business. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Falcons fans can go see Big Dave's Cheesesteaks in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and you guys have a location at Truist Park.
Yeah.
Is there any plans to expand maybe more in kind of that sports world?
I'm expanding now. I'm pregnant. There's a lot of expansion over here. We're working on so much expansion. I have some really, really big announcements to make, especially in Atlanta. And I am just so thrilled that I get to be behind the driver's seat of something so monumental and iconic, especially in Atlanta. And I just want to thank the city of Atlanta for supporting me in a way that they do, because Slutty Vegan wouldn't be as popular if it wasn't for that.
This is really important too. Had to make sure we get this in, but you were just added to Time Magazine's 100 Next list.
Yes.
What did that honor mean to you?
So I've been crying since I found out about it. And you know, I've been on a lot of lists, right? Like I work extremely hard and I take pride in work ethic, and I believe that in order to get the things that you want in life, you really got to work hard and like get your hands dirty. So I've been doing this for a very long time, but Time 100 is such a big achievement, right? I ain't never met nobody on the Time list, right? So to know that I, a woman from East Baltimore, right, who grew up from humble beginnings, my parents are Jamaican, my dad did 22 years in prison, to make a list like that tells me that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing with the right people, and there is no stopping me.
And you have a book coming out very soon. I love the title of this book, I Hope You Fail. I love that title.
Yeah.
What can readers expect, and what does that kind of mean, I hope you fail?
So have y'all ever felt like y'all failed in life at any point in life?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Tons of
Everybody,
times.
right? We can all say that. What this book does is it helps you navigate through your hardest times. So I hope you lose your job so they realize that like you weren't cut for that job anyway because there was something better. I hope you go flat broke so you understand money differently. I hope you lose all your friends so you can get better friends. So I'm telling you that life is going to happen. Yes, it's inevitable. But what happens after life happens is the lessons that you learn, and you can overcome and you can rise up above it, right? No pun intended. And really do all the things that your heart desires. So I'm excited about it. It comes out next week, October 11th. And I just pray that everybody like taps in and tunes in, because it will change your life.
I say all the time, we sometimes learn more about ourselves through failures than we do successes.
Absolutely, it's necessary. Writing a book about my real life experiences, like, I mean, it's me, it's my story, right? And I am a master failure, right? And I say that because I done did it all. I done lost lost money. I done ate from the glass plate. I've eaten from a paper plate. I've lost friends. I've lost relationships, but I've gained it all back. So I like to consider myself a student of the game, but at the same time, I'm an expert. So hopefully my stories and my experiences will really encourage somebody else to not give up.
Something else that's truly amazing about what you guys have been doing is the Pinky Cole Foundation. You guys empower generations of color to win in life. I love that. What does that mean for you to be able to continue to do that through your brand and through your success to kind of spread that around throughout Atlanta?
So when I was a kid, I always saw my mother helping everybody. And I was like, why do you want to help everybody all the time? But being a Caribbean woman, that is the nature of who we are, right? Like, you will take the shirt off somebody's back. So I carried that with me my entire life. So like, me helping people, it's beyond just saying I have a foundation. Like, I really want to see other people win. Like, it means a lot to me to know that I can use my resources to make other people better. And that's what the foundation has been doing. Like, we've partnered with so many people. We've donated money. We've paid rents. We've given out over 1,000 LLCs to new entrepreneurs. And we've done the work. Like, you know, when they say, put your money where your mouth is, well, we've absolutely done that. And it's not stopping now. And we're going to continue to do the work so that Slutty Vegan and the Pinky Cole Foundation will not just be businesses. It'll be ideas that possibility is possible.
Just to kind of wrap up, I know we talked about the whole idea of why you wanted to come back to Atlanta and kind of having that homecoming, but why did you want to make Atlanta your home?
Atlanta taught me how to be a woman and an entrepreneur and somebody striving to be the best that I can be. And as I matriculate through this thing called life, I understand that Atlanta played a big role in that, and I'm forever indebted to the city. So although I'm not a Grady baby, I wasn't born here, but my spirit and my heart speaks for the peach. And I will forever have Atlanta in my heart, because Atlanta is the reason why I get to unlock the generational wealth that I've been so desiring all my life.
I think that's something that you and I both relate to, is not Grady babies, like you say,
Right.
but people who just identify with the city and everything it has to offer. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thanks for joining us and really embodying what Atlanta's all about. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Pinky Cole, thanks for joining us. Anyone who wants to catch the full conversation online with Pinky Cole Hayes, head to fox5atlanta.com, and we'll be right back on Rise Up Tonight.
Hey Atlanta, this is Head Crack talking, and you watching Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
It's like I don't get caught up in whatever narrative is after 4 weeks of the daily narratives. You can almost write some of these narratives and live and die every week by the narratives. I don't use that lingo. That's the sensational line. It's like the scene with the dudes chasing the guy down from Happy Gilmore. Run to give away our scheme. What the hell is going on? Now you're really trying to put me on the hot seat here. Some narratives.
Yeah, Arthur Smith has had enough of our narratives at this point, too. And I think we've had enough of predicting offensive narratives for a minute here as well.
We're done. We can't do it anymore. We've said all we're going to say about the offense tonight.
All right, Falcons fans, meet me on camera 3. It is time for a pep talk. No more moping about 2 straight losses. No more negative self-talk. We are manifesting positivity about Week 5, because it's just that. Week 5. There is so much football to be played, and the Falcons need y'all to show up like you did in those first 2 games of the season at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You've heard about Desmond Ridder being undefeated in front of his home crowds. Well, this entire Falcons team right now is undefeated at home, and my hot take is they keep that streak up on Sunday.
I like it. I like it a lot. Now, it's absolutely no secret that Jesse Bates is hella important to this defense. I mean, all the turnovers this team has notched over this 4-game stint so far has come from the impact of Jesse Bates. And I still think that will remain the same against the Texans this week, too. But my hot take is that someone besides Jesse Bates will cause a turnover this coming Sunday. I'm thinking A.J. Terrell, maybe. He's come really close a few times. I think it happens this Sunday. And I honestly don't know if anyone would be as happy as Jesse Bates for A.J. Terrell. Truly.
Right. That's a good point. All right, let's talk about the Texans. Something I didn't think I would be saying going into the season. They're 2-2, but it feels like a very different 2-2 than the Falcons right now. Rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud has the 4th most passing yards going into Week 5. He has over 1,200 yards passing, which is insane.
Yeah.
He has 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, which also is huge. They throttled Pittsburgh last week 30-6, and the thing that strikes me about this offensive attack is they have 29 plays of 15 yards or more, and only one of those is rushing.
It's crazy. I think there are a lot of teams in the league that would have looked at this game against the Texans as a dub, but that's not at all how I'm feeling going about this team anymore. This is a confident Texas team coming into Atlanta, probably more confident than we've seen them in a very long time. They've been really impressive, especially recently.
And Arthur Smith, super complimentary of C.J. Stroud this week. Should be really interesting to see what they do on Sunday. We'll wrap it up all for you guys next Friday night. Have a good night for now.